Let's talk about a really creepy story where somebody set themselves up and now can hardly even fathom thinking about what they did to themselves. So this guy is super interested in the Black Eyed Kids, and he's like, what is all this about? I've never seen one. I've never even experienced it. I want to know what people are talking about because I don't really think they're that big of a deal. So he puts an ad out in the paper and he's like, BEK, Black Eyed Kids. If you want to see me, I want you to meet me at this park bench at this park. Put in the description, everything on that. For 6 months, this guy would sit there and hide behind like part of like a tree, just waiting. The same night, every month for 6 months. Nobody ever showed up. He's like, okay, this is a bunch of hocus pocus. Nobody's coming out here, whatever. And eventually, he's like, well, they're not coming to see me, whatever. So he goes back home. A few months pass, and all of a sudden he gets a knock at the door one time, and he walks up to the door, and all of a sudden there's somebody standing there, and this person says, let me in, I need to get in, very aggressive like. And he said the feeling he got was very, very just terrified. Like, it was really hard to describe, but just this overwhelming sensation came over him that something was not right. Like when your total fight or flight kicks in, this was him. So he is at the door and he was like, no, go away. And all of a sudden this kid was more persistent. He's like, open the door, open the door. Why are you not going to the park bench anymore? I waited at the park for you. And this guy behind the door is just like, oh my God, like this is the Black Eyed Kid. And he didn't even have to look at him to have that feeling of something is wrong. This is so dreadful. And the way he figured out who it was he was able to peek over his door where they have that little window, and he could peek out and see, and all of a sudden this kid is talking through the door and looks up right at him, and all he can see is just black. He has no color at all, just black. His whites are black, his color of his eyes, everything black. He instantly just freezes, and he's like, you need to go now, you need to go, and walks away from the door, sits in his living room for what seemed like forever. He said it was like almost an hour before he actually got up because he was literally just frozen. He has since then talked about this, and he has reoccurring dreams of this Black-Eyed Kid standing at his door telling him he needs to come in, open the door, I need to come in, all because he was curious enough, put out a newspaper ad, and that Black-Eyed Kid, he did deliver.